chapter 22 and verse 12. Dabarim 22 and verse 12. And I'm going to be using, I'm reading from the Besorah. And last week, our key, Don Clinton, he posted the scriptures as we went along, and that was truly greatly appreciated, Ak. And so if you can do that for us this week, it would be greatly appreciated also. But I'm going to be reading from the Besorah, and I ask you to be patient with me as I turn to these passages. I'm willfully doing it this way because I want us to take the time to find these scriptures and to see what the word says, you know. So I don't want to just give references, but I want us to go to each, and I want to take the time to go to each, and we'll look at it. The only problem I have with flipping through the pages of the Besorah is that it's so kind of thin. I've not yet grown accustomed to just flipping easily and finding the books, you know, as I would in the Bible I used to use, you know. So okay, the first one is in chapter we're going to go to chapter 22. So that's Dabarim, or Deuteronomy, chapter 22, and then verse 12. That's the first scripture we're going to look at. And then we're going to go to Bamidbar, or Numbers, chapter 15, verses 37 through 41. Okay? Bamidbar, chapter 15, verses 37 through 41. If you're listening to us via Blog Talk Radio, in about 5 minutes, we'll go off the air there, but it will continue to record for another 15 minutes, and then at the end of our study today, I will post that that first 45 minutes of our study to Facebook, or you could come back to Blog Talk to listen to it at any time of your choosing. But we go off the air here on Blog Talk in about 4 minutes now, and so you're welcome to join us in the room on paltalk.com. The name of the room is Woe Life Min TV. And for our brother that called in earlier and I accidentally put you on the air without notification, I apologize for that. I didn't realize that I'd done so I do apologize. Thank you for calling in. But I know that you had hung up. I think I kind of shocked you with that, so I apologize. Okay, so we're going to go to Deuteronomy, or Dabarim, chapter 22 and verse 12. That's the first passage we're going to go to for today. 22 and verse 12. It says, "Make tassels on the four corners of the garment with which you cover yourself." Make tassels, or tzitzit, on the four corners of the garment with which you cover yourself. I would love to say Shabbat Shalom to you, Alicia 89, and welcome. Okay, so that's the first passage. Make tassels on the four corners of the garment with which you cover yourself. And that is a command given in Torah. Okay, now in this verse, the conditions governing the command is not stated. And so what we're going to do next is we're going to go to the verses where the conditions governing this command is stated. Okay, we're going to go to verses where the conditions governing this command is stated. Let's go to next. And so you want to note that make tassels on the four corners of the garment with which you cover yourself. Okay, or make tzitzit. Now let's go to our next passage, Bamidbar, or Numbers chapter 15, verses 37 to 41. Numbers chapter 15, verses 37 to 41. If you're listening to us on Blog Talk, we have 90 seconds left, and then it's going to go silent. You're welcome to join us in the room on paltalk.com. We are Woe Life Min TV, located under Religion and Spirituality, and then Other. Okay, thank you for listening. Okay, Bamidbar chapter 15, that's Numbers chapter 15, verses 37 through 41. Numbers chapter 15, verses 37 through 41. Okay, it reads, and also, if there's anybody in the room who, as we go through our study, as we go through the different texts, if you would like to read, feel free to let me know, whether you want to raise your hand or whatever the case is. Just let me know and I'll turn the mic over. And so, if you would like to do so, please let me know. And as we go through, once we get through our study today, and we have a lot to cover, and I'm hoping to finish it all today. Once we'll get to a point where if you have any questions, you're welcome to post your questions, and we'll discuss them also. Okay, so we're looking at verse 37. We're going to begin here in chapter 15 at verse 37. And we're going to go read through 41. And Yahuah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Yasharal, and you shall say to them to make Tzitzit. That's Tzitzit is the plural for fringes, or Tzitzit. Okay, Tzitzit or Tzitzit is really what it is. The O comes from. Now, so let's look at the word Tzitzit or Tzitzit for just a moment. The very word means remembrance. Okay, the very word itself means remembrance. This is a command, or this is a statute that was given to Yasharal for a remembrance. Now, when we study the scriptures, we did a study a few weeks back, and the title of that study was How to Study the Scriptures. It was done in probably a couple parts, if I remember correctly. But when we study the scriptures, it is important for us to ask questions of the scriptures, and as we ask questions of the scriptures, it is important for us to let the scriptures answer those questions. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So our first passage we read was the command from Deuteronomy, Dabarim, chapter 22 and verse 12, where it states that they should make tassels or tzitzits in the corners or borders of their garments. Okay, now the conditions were not stated in that verse, but here we are now in Bamidbar, our Numbers chapter 15, and this passage is really loaded with the details concerning this command. Okay, and so we're going to go now and we're going to look at this verse by verse here from Bamidbar chapter 15. And so we're going to begin here at verse 37, and we're going to work our way through. And Yahuah spoke to Moshe, saying, verse 37, verse 38, Speak to the children of Yasharal, and you shall say to them to make tzitzit on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and to put a blue cord in the tzitzit of the corners. Okay, so now that word, throughout your generations, is also sometimes translated as the word forever. Okay, so when you see throughout your generations in the scriptures, it is the same word in the Hebrew text that is translated forever. Okay, okay, so when you see throughout your generations forever, it is also translated in the scriptures as forever. Okay, and so those who teaches that we must wear tassels or tzitzit, they will point to this word, okay, or this phrase that says throughout your generation, and they'll tell you that that means forever. Okay, and so the first question is that we must ask the scriptures is, does the word forever, when it appears in the scriptures, does it always mean forever as in eternity? Okay, does the word forever, does it always mean forever as in eternity? And our quote just posted, Kayin, that's right. That word forever has different contextual meanings. Absolutely. And see, when we started off today, I started off talking about the word context. Okay? And how important that word is, and how important it is to understand context and its influence on the scriptures.